closed loop system as well as open loop system. That is the beauty of the Nyquist stability criteria. See, in this, we will map transform the poles of closed loop system from S plane to the f of s plane, where f of s is having only the it indicates the poles of the closed loop system, but it discusses the stability of the open loop system. So through the open loop system poles and zeros, it will discuss the stability of the closed loop system. So f of s is nothing but 1 plus g of s into h of s. By this open loop system stability, it will discuss what is the stability in f of s domain. That's it. And here in this Nyquist plot, we will discuss the stability for the different omega values. Omega values basically will take from 0 to infinity only. But here we will also take the negative frequency or negative omega values. Both we will study total entire region where the if the poles are there in the right hand side, basically we call it as unstable system. So we will search, we will scan the total entire right hand side plane, whether if any root is there in the right hand side pole, right hand side, because any root, if you have at right side, that system is called as a unstable system. So for that we will search in the right hand side. If there is no right hand side, obviously it will be on the left hand side or on the imaginary line. Both will give you the at least imaginarily stable condition. So this facility you can get from the Nyquist stability criteria. Okay, so here the Nyquist plot is nothing but it is plot. One second. Okay, yeah, Nyquist plot is actually it is a plot where we draw the locus of the poles. It's like a contour we will write. We will map all the points which are in the S plane into the f of a plane. It's look like a contour. So this contour is drawn based on the function f of s, where f of s I told you already, it is equal to 1 plus g of s into h of s. Okay, if g of s into h of s is equal to some polynomial like s minus z1 and so on, then it is after taking the LCM, 1 plus of that numerator by denominator will give you some numerator polynomial and denominator polynomial that will give you both zeros and poles, but these zeros are not zeros are the uh, zeros of the open loop system. So zeros are the um, poles of the closed loop system. Okay, so based on this contour, we can analyze the stability of the closed loop system. So how to define the stability in the Nyquist contour? The Nyquist contour basically, I will tell you what are the different Nyquist contours we should select based on the problem. Okay, here the Nyquist stability criteria is like, if you draw the f of s plane, you need to search about this zero center, what is the contour. So this is the contour. I mean, within this region the system is stable. That is the way we can conclude. Our number of encirclements about this horizon we will calculate. Whether it is clockwise or anti-clockwise, this encirclement, based on this encirclement n value, we will calculate the system stability. So how do we do this? There is a Nyquist condition to analyze the stability. For the system to be stable, this number of encirclements about the origin, like this. If you take this kind of, if you get this kind of Nyquist plot about the origin, how many encirclements are there? So that number of encirclements, suppose here we have 3, then number of encirclements should be is equal to the poles of the open loop system. I mean, this open loop system, the given G of s, H of s, how many poles are there? If poles are 3, suppose, and there are no zeros. If there are no open loop poles, then it is equal to 0. Since here 3 is equal to 3, then this system, this condition is satisfied, then we will say the system is stable. If they suppose there are 1 0, then it is not matching. It is not, the condition failed. Therefore, the system is said to be unstable. So that way we can analyze this system stability using Nyquist criteria. And here f of s plane is giving 1 plus g of s into h of s. Instead of that, we know only g of s, h of s. By this directly we can analyze system stability, right? As usual, g of s, h of s, without doing this LCM and finding poles and zeros, we can directly take this and we can get f of s minus 1 plane instead of f of s plane. So this is equal to g of s into h of s. So using this plane, if this is the plane, then we will check the system stability not with respect to origin, with respect to minus 1 point, we will see the number of encirclements. So about minus 1 point on the real axis, how many encirclements are there? That n value must be equal to p minus z. Then only the system is said to be stable. Okay. Of course, we will see different ways, different points, different examples we will see here. Then you can understand. Actually, this Nyquist stability criteria procedure, Nyquist stability criteria. Pallavi, are you getting?
Yes, sir.
This is a question, Nyquist stability criteria procedure. How to plot this Nyquist plot? Nyquist stability criteria separately they may ask the question, and this procedure is a separate question. How to do the problem? Here, first we need to select a Nyquist contour. What is a Nyquist contour? So Nyquist contour we should select in such a way that this contour should cover the total or entire right hand side of the plane. Right hand side. So this, even if I show this much small circle, it is a radius of infinity. So it's a bigger. So infinity radius semicircle. Okay, and this is started origin and it is going to the infinity and covering entire right hand side plane and again coming back to 0. So this is the first type of contour. Okay, and here there are no poles or zeros at any point in this imaginary line. Okay, then only we should select this kind of Nyquist contour. Suppose your transfer function, you are given open loop transfer function has one pole at origin, then we should skip this point. So small skip semicircle, small semicircle, just to skip this point. That means this is 0 minus, this is 0 plus. So just after the 0 and below the 0, we should start the root locus, contour. So from here to infinity, and from total right hand side plane, again reaching minus infinity point, then again coming back to 0 minus point. So there is a small skip here. Suppose sometime you will be having many values on the imaginary line. That means one pole at origin, one pole at this imaginary line, and at this imaginary line. Therefore, all these points, all these poles lying on the imaginary line, we should skip. These are called residues. We should skip these points, and remaining total contour we should consider. Total RHS plane we should cover. Okay. Pallavi, understood this selection of contours?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. After selecting these contours, the next step is we should suppose you have selected the first contour, suppose, and this total contour is divided into three sub contours. One is the C1, that means from this origin to infinity. First, the contour will travel from omega is equal to 0 to omega is equal to infinity, and this is having infinity radius, right? So this omega is equal to 0 to omega is equal to infinity, it is changing, and this is exactly mapping as the polar plot. The polar plot also we will find the stability, or we'll find the system variation, magnitude and phase variation from omega is equal to 0 to omega is equal to infinity. So this C1 is also replicating the same thing. Omega is equal to 0 to omega is equal to infinity. What is the system behavior? In how the magnitude and phase is changing. So C1 contour, for C1 contour, we should draw the polar plot. And next, we are here now. From this point, the contour is changing the angle. Till this angle is same. Okay. Here, this point, the radius is same, angle is changing from plus 90 degrees to minus 90 degrees. The radius is infinity. Radius is infinity, right? Infinite radius. So for this, we need to take the system, given open loop system, and we need to test what is the value if the radius is infinity. So we need to substitute r tends to infinity, and we have to, after getting this result, we need to test if the angle is varying from plus 90 degrees to minus 90 degrees, what will be the result? How this will change in the Nyquist plot. And after the C2, then next is the C3 contour. C3 contour is having again the opposite to the C1. The omega value is from minus infinity to 0. Therefore, this is just the inverse of this C1 contour. That means inverse polar plot we should draw. So no need of any calculation for C3. Simply invert this. If you have the polar plot like this, inverse polar plot you have to draw like this. Mirror image. Okay. Right. And sometimes you'll be having C4 contour, so like this. C4 contour. In this second case, you'll be having C4 contour. So C4 contour, how it will be? It is again a semicircle. So it is similar to this big arc. So how we have done with C2? Similar way, C4, you should do like limit small r, small radius. This is a zero radius. Zero radius. Small r tends to 0. G of s into h of s we should find. For this, theta varies from, this is minus 90 degrees to plus 90 degrees. So minus 92 plus 90, change, what is the effect, what is the resultant for this theta values. If you substitute in this, what will be C4 contour mapping, that we will get. So after getting this C4, C1, C2, C3, C4 contour mappings, we should draw in f of s plane. Okay, this is after getting that overall Nyquist plot. We need to check the number of encirclements about -1, 0 point, and this number of encirclements must be equal to p minus z. Then only the system is stable.